Hey guys, good morning. Big Bear coming at you from the rest stop, Loretta Lynn and Hank Williams in Tennessee, somewhere near Nashville, sorta. It's between Memphis and Nashville. Today we're going to talk about insomnia from a NEWSTART perspective and how I would approach insomnia if I had insomnia, which I don't, and I wanted to apply the NEWSTART program to my insomnia. This is how I would go about it. I call it linear holographic transformational modality. Huh? What? Linear holographic transformational modality. You can also call it polishing your diamond. We cut off the things that don't belong, but we do it through a cause and effect analysis type of system. So we're looking at insomnia from not a doctor's perspective necessarily, but from the perspective of you as your own healer to provide balance. And then when you provide balance, the body has the ability to do what it can do. If your insults are self-inflicted, then removing the insults allows the body to restore balance. That's kind of the goal, is a holographic balance. The other goal is to, prior to that, provide the environment for healing. Become that person that can heal. Become the person, mind, body, and spirit, that is capable of moving forward into that person that you're capable of becoming, if it were not for the insults and the hindrances that you provide for yourself. Fair enough. Okay, so it ain't doctrine, but it has a doctrine type of effect, I suppose. The diet that you can adopt has been termed medicinal. So, but that's actually not a part of this. We're getting your mind open. Let's go. Linear holographic transformational modality. Polishing your diamond. What are we going to do? We're going to look at insomnia from the perspective of a NEWSTART initiate, someone who says, what do I do? I've got this insomnia. Sit down and look at it. Look at the primary causes, and then the primary causes will all have a primary solution. Okay, so we have a common issue, a common problem. We look for common causes and common solutions. Okay, we always balance these or weigh these against the 8 angels of equilibrium. Okay, so number 1, I've got insomnia. Okay, why? Don't know. Let's look what causes insomnia. Nutrition. Do I eat too late? Am I getting caffeine too late or too much? Do I eat too heavy later in the day instead of eating heavy earlier in the day and then tapering off? What it boils down to basically is, when do you eat, what do you eat, and how much do you eat? Okay, so each one of these, the whole point of this is to allow you to self-analyze and then apply that to yourself. So no doctor is going to talk to you, but this information comes. We're applying the information that comes from holistic doctors, practitioners, and the like. So we've learned that some people who eat too late have trouble sleeping. Bang, is that you? We've learned that some people who get caffeine at all, even, or definitely late in the afternoon, past 3 p.m., some people past 12 p.m., when, what, how much, okay? These are some of the causes through nutrition that we can look at. We can definitely dig deep. This isn't about that. We're 5 minutes in. Let's go. And it plays out just like this, guys. Like a fiddle. Charlie Daniels. Okay. So, number one, nutrition. So then we go to exercise. Exercise. When do we exercise? Are we exercising in the morning, afternoon, evening? What types of exercises are we doing? And then how much exercise are we getting? Are we getting any at all? If we're not getting exercise, then that could be a major factor, a major player in there. If you don't get exercise, then it's difficult to sleep. And there's a couple of reasons behind that, and we can actually talk about that. So I'll get to that later in rest. So number 3, water. How much water are you getting? You know, if your brain is X% water, 70, 80% water, how much? You know, you can do your research. Don't have to count on me for every little detail. But your brain is mostly water. I'll back you up on that. All right. So, what if you don't have enough water? Can your brain operate correctly, properly? Can you get your proper rest if you don't get the right water? And then again, it plays out like a fiddle. When do you get your water? We can talk about how that plays in with nutrition and digestion also. Again, that's a song for another player. What are you drinking? And do you drink water, or do you drink flavored waters, or do you drink sugar water? Do you drink alcohol? So water can also, we can talk about consumption of water along with these other constituents, and then we get down to temperances. Do we allow that, and how is that playing into your particular problems with insomnia? Okay, it's all about you, it's not about me. But you analyze through a linear holographic transformational modality. We're looking at the causes, so we lay out what are common causes. Does this fit me? Fair enough. This is how it's done. So you did your nutrition, you checked your exercise, we looked at our water. What are we drinking, when, what, and how much? Number 4 is key. Number 4 was key for me. I said I don't have insomnia. I don't have trouble sleeping at all, so long as this one is followed. And I used to have what we called SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And I kind of get depressed in the wintertime. I wasn't getting, and I found that if I went to the tanning beds years and years ago, that it went away, and it was sunlight. So I had to get out in sunlight. And that is one of the causes of insomnia, is lack of sunlight. So again, when, what, how much? If you're getting sunlight in the wrong time of day, you can, burn. Again, that goes back to temperance. That's the next thing. So when should you get your sunlight? You should definitely get, again, this is what my people teach. I'm not prescribing anything for anybody. I'm regurgitating what my people have taught me. They say a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes twice a week, and then build up. Try to expose as much of your body. Another thing about the sunlight, we talk about when. Well, if you're trying to sleep during the day when it's sunlight and trying to get your sunlight at night, it won't work. You can't get sunlight at night. It's not possible. It resets your circadian rhythms. So you need to go to sleep at the proper time. We'll get to that too. We're going to move forward. Next is temperance. Temperance is what? It's the Goldilocks principle. It's getting enough of the good stuff that you need, not too much of it. And then it's not getting the stuff that you don't need. And if it gets in, you get it out. Caffeine, do you need it at all? Any of the enes, you really probably, nicotine, caffeine, cocaine, shouldn't have it. TV though, again, so here's where we switch, that I haven't even mentioned this yet because I've been having fun. I left this for later. Everything I'm talking about, looks like here so far, was more about your body. But didn't I say linear, holographic? What's linear? We're doing it in a straight line. So we're checking it one thing at a time to try to cover all the bases. We look at all the primary causes. We're going to catch most of the stuff that we might be doing. Okay? So then we already know what the answers are for these things. So when we cut them out, then it really squeezes it down. and really makes it identify if you've got anything left over. That might be the thing you need to go to a doctor for. Get you some doctoring. Go see Granny. No, not Granny. No, go see go see a Western medicine doctor to solve that thing. Okay, but these things that are self-inflicted that we can fix ourselves simply by removing the insult, by removing the imbalance that we put on ourselves. That's what we're talking about here. Caffeine, TV, negative programming. Okay, but mind, body, spirit. I just said negative programming. From who? From where? From what? The radio, the TV, your friends, and so forth. So how much of that's impacting you, impacting your mind, and impacting your spirit, your mood? These things are important too. So you've got a mind as well as your body and your spirit. So what are you doing to feed your mind good nutrition? What are you doing to exercise your mind? We talked about water is necessary for your mind. What about sunlight? What about sunlight? Does that affect your mind? Yes, it does, guys. Because what does sunlight do for us in the skin? I didn't mention this, but it produces what? Hormones. Melatonin. Is that needed for the brain to properly function? Is that do people take melatonin to get sleep? Okay. You with me, guys? Common causes. So if you don't have melatonin, are you going to sleep right? Do you go take the pills, or do you go get 10 minutes, 15 minutes of sunlight twice a week, 3 times a week? If your skin is heavily melanated, it protects you from that, and you will not produce as much, so you need more. That's why I talk about a lighter skinned individual like myself needs to start out 10 to 15 minutes twice a week, build up to 3 times a week if possible over time. You might be able to start out at 15 minutes 3 times a week without problems. This is all about you, not me. Temperance, the right things in the right amounts. Okay. Next, air. What do we say? When, what, how much? What about what? What about ionized air? What about the way that makes you feel? You get out by the sea, you see the air, you see the water. You don't see the air, you see the mist, the fog maybe. But you see the sights of the water out in the ocean or a lake. You're around the trees. The pine trees put off ionized air. Thunderstorms put off ionized air. These things have antioxidant properties. They can impact your spirit. These can impact your mind. Anything you do for your spirit usually impacts your mood, which impacts your mind, right? Back to or forward to. Let's go. Let's keep going. Rest. Mind, body, spirit. How do you rest your mind? How do you rest your body? How do you rest your spirit? Okay. So when you exercise, you can tone down, right? That's your body. But you need to kind of have an avenue to reduce the stress in some way. How do we do these? We actually, to me, to rest the mind, we exercise the spirit. Okay? Let's think about that for half a second. So what are you doing to be like creative or have a giving, kind heart and going out and helping somebody else who can't help themselves and can never give back to you? These things exercise the spirit. In my opinion, it rests the mind. It certainly builds up my mind. It strengthens my mind. Okay? So, rest in the body, stop, sit down. There's other things I can get into that assist with resting of the body, because the point of the body at rest oftentimes also is to help along with the temperance, and that is the removal of toxins. So when we're at rest, we can massage our body. We can massage our lymph system. There, you can take the other end of a knife handle and systematically work your legs and get your lymph system worked up. You can do that to when you've exercised to warm down. You can do it to warm up and to warm down. We rest our mind, we rest our body, and we rest our spirit. When we do these things properly, then we can sleep. You ever been overtired? I'm overtired, I can't sleep. I've been there. If I'm overtired, I have trouble getting to sleep. Let's talk about real quick about rest, though. We talk about, go back to when, what, and how much. So when do you sleep? My camp teaches me that you get your, okay, so you've got the pineal gland, and it produces 4 hormones while you sleep. And it only does this between roughly the hours, and this is what they teach, roughly the hours about 9 or 10 p.m. to about 2 to 3 in the morning. And after that, they don't produce the hormones. What are the 4 hormones? Melatonin, serotonin, and then there's 2 others that I don't have ability to pronounce. We know what melatonin does, kind of, sort of. It's rebuild and repair. We know what serotonin is. That's your mood, right? If you don't get good sleep, you're cranky. If you get good sleep, I'm refreshed. Serotonin. There's a third one, and it's a painkiller. So if you're in a lot of pain, it may be because you're not sleeping correctly at the right times. So the problem with that is that it produces, my camp teaches that it produces a toxic byproduct that you need this 4th hormone to remove. The caveat is that if you don't exercise, you don't produce, you don't produce, I don't know, again, oh gosh, I goofed it. Okay, I was trying to wing it on that. But there's 4 hormones. They're all tied together. They're produced by the pineal gland. And if you don't exercise, then you don't reset that painkiller one. And then the 4th one, I might have got them backwards, you know? Sorry, guys. I'm not trying to lie. I'm just goofy. Trying to help. Hello. Is this helping? 16 minutes in. Dang, I talk a lot. Is this helping? Last thing you need to do to analyze your causes through the angels of equilibrium, utilizing linear, holographic, transformational modality. Again, we're calling that polishing your diamond. We're going to talk about, I'm going to get religious with you. Can you handle it? In the Bible, there's a parable. A lot of people are probably familiar with this. And Jesus is out on the boat with all of the disciples. And up comes a storm. And they're freaking out. There's a storm, there's a storm, there's a storm. Where's Jesus? They can't even find Jesus. They run around, they look for Jesus. Where do they find him? He's below deck, asleep. And this goes on to be the parable where Peter walks on the water. He takes his eyes off of Jesus. He starts to sink and so forth. That's too far. We went too far with it. Let's go back to sleeping Jesus. Why was Jesus sleeping with the storm all around? Because he knew in the end everything would be fine. Can it be as simple as that? It can be if you want it to be. And that's your trust. And if you don't have trust, your spirit will create anxiety for you, will it not? Yes. Your mind will. So your spirit and your mind will work in conjunction against your body in that respect. And will prevent you from sleeping even if you count the stinking sheep. So, are you having a little bit of insomnia? Would you like to remove it? Then apply a linear, holographic, transformational modality to your existence using a cause and effect analysis through the 8 angels of equilibrium to deliver to you a personalized cause and effect analysis of each to determine which of the insults you are committing and which ones you need to remove. And once you remove the insults, that will allow the body to obtain balance, right? Balance, because that's what we want. We want equilibrium. And we won't get that as long as we're out of balance. We provide the right opportunity for our body by becoming that person that possesses those qualities. How? By bringing in what we need, getting rid of what we don't need. Transformational. Holographic, mind, body, spirit. Linear, step 1, step 2, step 3. Modality, it's how we do this, okay? So we sit down, we polish our diamond until it's gleaming, pretty and pure. And it's a process. You don't just leap off the building and go splat. No, wait. Don't think of it that way. It is a process. It is a journey. It's not an event. It's not a poof. Slowly over time. And again, you're going to goof yourself, and so the lesson is repeated until it's learned. If you want to eliminate insomnia from your life, and this isn't working, but you're not doing it right, you need some help, holler at me, and I'll do what I can to help you. God bless you. Go to barry.com. Holler. Let me see what I can do to help you help yourself. God bless you. Bye-bye.